You flew in from the Czech Republic, I understand, for the Cincinnati Film Festival. You've brought a couple of movies, you've got books, you've got a slideshow, the big slideshow, too.
That's right, yeah. I'm a little nervous. I just got a text from somebody about in fact, let me just text somebody back. It's kind of an emergency. Normally I don't show digitally. Normally I show on 35, and I'm not as together on 35, and there's a problem with the digital, and I have to text somebody about something. Yeah, I'm a little nervous because when this was kind of a last-minute booking for this festival. I was in the Czech Republic, and I'm building sets for my next film.
Is that the third one in the trilogy?
No, I won't make that for many, many years.
We'll come back to that. But.
Yeah. But it's good for me to tour. I haven't been able to tour in the last few months because I've been... I'm essentially the production supervisor for the film and art direction. So I need to bring money. I make more money as an actor when I'm acting in corporate film, but I bring in little bits of money when I tour. And right now, it's important for me. I've spent a lot of money, particularly in the last couple of months. So.
And these are labors of love, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean, I'll never make money on the films. Part of the reason that I tour with the live show is I have essentially recouped on the amount that I paid for both of these films together. But when I say recoup, that's 50% by the live show, 25% by the book sales. I perform a live show of 8 different books, which is called Crispin Glover's Big Slideshow. They're very visual.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, I'm really proud of the books, and they're an incredibly important part of my life. I made most of them in the 1980s, and I'm amazed at how important these have become, because this is really what's enabled me to self-distribute the films.
How interconnected are the books, the slideshow, and the films?
Well, What Is It? This one, which is the first film, 2005, which I wrote, has if you see the slideshow, you can see a lot of correlations between my books and this film. Really, What Is It ended up being my psychological reaction to the corporate constraints that have happened in the last, now it's more, I have to keep upping the amounts of time, 35 years of filmmaking. And wherein anything that can possibly make an audience member uncomfortable is necessarily excised, or that film will not be corporately funded or distributed. I don't have a corporation in between me and the people that are coming to my shows, and then I meet the people. So I have a very intimate relationship with my audience. My audience says... Well, is that even a proper word? Audiences,
yeah. I understand after the show, you stick around and you want to meet everyone there.
Well, it's not that I want to meet everyone there. It's that I sit at the table, and there are people, I have a book signing, and then people that want to individually come up and say hello or have a book signed or what have you. I'll talk to. I mean, of course, there is a sales element to it, but I don't make it mandatory that somebody buys a book or anything. But it's not. I'm also not doing it just so I can meet everybody in the audience.
But you're making yourself accessible.
Yeah, right. I mean, What Is It is a jumping off point for a discussion. That's why the fact that it's a question works. And then I have questions and I talk with the audience. Sometimes people get upset, so the film is not necessarily an easy kind of film. No one under 18 is allowed. It's an adult film in the best terms of the word. It's things for adults to think and talk about, and I have very good experiences, but with the audience and but sometimes even when people get upset, that can be a good experience. Somebody can be upset and it brings up a lot of questions and thoughts. And I didn't initially plan to have, when I started shooting What Is It, to have Steve's screenplay to have anything to do with it. But I realized it was going to be a short film to promote a different screenplay originally. And then I realized, as I was expanding what is it into a feature, and I realized that there were certain things innate in what I'd already shot that were taboo and that would not be fit into corporate structures that existed, and along the lines of what I was saying earlier, that anything that can make audiences uncomfortable would either necessarily be excised, or the film would not be corporately funded or distributed, which is damaging. So I realized this was innate within even as a short film, and that I should make this a point of what the film was about. Steve was born with a severe case of cerebral palsy, and when he was in his early 20s, his mother died and he was put into a nursing home where he didn't want to be. And the people that were taking care of him there would derisively call him an MR, a mental retard, which isn't a nice thing to call anybody, but Steve was of normal intelligence, and the emotional turmoil he must have gone through for the decade he was in that nursing home, I can't even begin to imagine. But when he got out of the nursing home after about 10 years, he wrote this screenplay. Yeah, Steve's screenplay, though, it's funny because I say whenever I'm showing the films that when the whole trilogy is done, the best film of the trilogy will be Everything is Fine. It has to do with what Steve was reacting to. I love the film, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really proud of What Is It as well. I don't mean to dismiss it, but there's just something very specific that Steve was reacting to that I feel like it'll probably be not only the best film of the trilogy, but the best film I'll have anything to do with in my whole career.